Salt of the Earth Farm Stories is proudly brought to you by Grig Media. From generations-old family farms to innovative sustainable practices, each episode offers a glimpse into the resilience, passion and dedication of Australian farmers and explores the profound connection between people and the land.
Just sitting here looking around, we've got the hills, the beautiful blue sky. It's just such a lovely part of the world in the northeast.
Do you always drive this fast, Mary?
Depends where I'm going.
You always seem to be in a bit of a hurry.
No time to waste.
In today's episode, we're heading back to the Farm Mudgegonga, where Judy Brewer has transformed part of her farm to become a social farm, a special place where the spirit of community, nature and resilience thrives. Our guide for this tour is the one and only 94-year-old Mary Brewer. She was a city girl, but quickly adapted to farm life and even became the farm's skilled butcher. And if you think a 94-year-old can't be a speedster, think again. We'll take a ride through this social farm with Mary driving Judy's trusty Kubota, zooming past the duck house, the chook shed, St Michael's and even the mosh pit. Along the way, we'll meet some amazing people who make the Farm Mudgegonga tick, including Mick the Builder, Dave the Farm Manager, Guiding Light and everything else, Leanne the Horticulturist, and even a visitor all the way from a care farm in England. Plus, we get to catch up with the amazing Judy Brewer. And true to Mary's popularity, don't be surprised if you hear her phone buzzing with texts along the way. It's non-stop love for this incredible lady. So sit back, relax, and enjoy a tour like no other. Straight from the heart of the Farm Mudgegonga.
Good morning, Mary.
Hello, Darren. It's good to see you.
How have you been, Mary? You've been quite busy, I believe.
Yes, I'm always busy, but I don't like this hot weather much. But it's great when I can come out here and see what's happening. There's always something happening out here. There's people wandering around doing bits and pieces. And then if I'm not here for a few days and when I come back, there's something magical.
And this is still home though, isn't it, Mary?
Oh, always will be. Always will be. I've been here now 63 years, which is certainly the longest part of my life.
That's right, 1958 you moved
Yes, that's right, 58. You can do the arithmetic.
No, I went to school in Ballarat, Mary.
Oh, that says everything. But it was nothing like this when I came. Which was very, very ordinary, but again, but progressive farm for its day.
Now, Mary, our listeners from last year loved your episodes that we recorded. That was episode 7, 8 and 9. What was it like hearing that everyone loved your story?
Well, I didn't know that they did.
You're very popular.
So long ago, I can hardly remember what it was about. But certainly the change from when I first came to here is amazing. Oh, I'd love some of the older generation to be able to look down from heaven and see what's happening.
That's right. So let's go back to 1958. You had to be pretty self-sufficient, right?
Oh, absolutely. When we first came out, there were 3 little children, and I had a mother-in-law who was bedridden, who was blind. So we were very busy, and I couldn't go back to work because I was here all the time. And to be self-sufficient, we had a cow. We milked the cow, we made the butter, we kept the cream. We even made the cheese. Oh my goodness, we had anything in the way of poultry that I could find. Turkeys, ducks, geese.
And I heard you were the expert butcher.
Well, I wasn't the expert when I started. I grew up in the town. All this was new to me and I made a lot of blunders before I got things right. But as you say, we were pretty self-sufficient. We had always had a few sheep, which I killed and dressed, so we had meat.
You even made your own sausages?
Yes, we had a sausage machine, which is still around somewhere, which was rather fun because you can make sausages with other things than just meat. Or you can have a little bit of meat and put all sorts of veggies and things in it too.
Would you?
Oh, yes, yes.
So over the years, Mary, you've also planted many trees. Tell me about the homemade tree guards you made.
Oh, well, they were wire. We should have had gloves. We had to learn how to do those because at first we made them too small and we learned to make them bigger. And of course we had to make them. They were just a piece of cut wire that was put around a tree, but the worst part was we had to put some steel posts in to hold it in place. And of course in those days there was only one way to put a steel post in, and that's to hammer it in. Whether it was summer or winter, the ground used to be very, very hard. And you'd half finish a job and come back tomorrow and the cows had knocked it over and you'd start again. But if we had a seedling anywhere, it went in.
Really?
Oh my word, it did.
So, and I heard too, you had a house full of people all the time, and you were always cooking up a storm.
Yes.
What was the secret to feeding everybody?
My mother was a very good cook, and growing up we were a big family. We had a lot of people at home, and we were pretty used to cooking. It was the idea of doing it all the time that got me. We didn't seem to have much rest. If it was weekends, you had a different sort of visitor. And as I say, Grandma, my mother-in-law, was in bed. She had visitors. We encouraged visitors because it was the only thing she could have. Couldn't see and she was getting old.
And you've always been a worker, Mary. You had to take on off-farm jobs too, didn't you?
Yes.
Tell me about your time at Wangaratta and at Mayday Hills.
Oh, I went all over the place. I got a phone call just after Grandma died to say would I come and do a locum at Wangaratta because the girl was having a baby. And I hummed and hawed for quite a long time, but eventually said yes. If it was only going to be 6 weeks or 2 months, I'd do it. Anyway, she didn't come back and I stayed there a couple of years. And it was a lovely job. There were very nice people there.
But when you finished a day's work there, you'd have to come back to the farm and
milk
cows. And
my word. Oh, only one cow. I never milked more than one. We had Daisy, who became a pet. Yes, I never enjoyed work as much as I enjoyed living here. I later went to Mayday Hills, which in those days was a very big psychiatric hospital. In fact, we had more patients there than the Royal Melbourne had.
Is that right?
Yes, we had 610 and the Royal Melbourne had 600, and we had 2,000 staff.
Wow.
It had to be very heavily staffed. The problems with the patients were always changing and you didn't know what you were coming against. It was very regional, local, and lovely people on the staff.
So you were an occupational therapist, but it must have been a tough job mentally.
At first it was. I never wanted to do psychiatric work, and I only got it because, as I say, Harry had died, and farm-wise the money was all tied up and the kids were still growing up, so I needed some money. And I went back. That was the easiest, or the closest good job I could find. Yes, I enjoyed it. It was hard work. You never knew from day to day or from hour to hour what you were going to find. It was a very, very friendly atmosphere. And it still breaks my heart that they closed it.
Yeah, right.
It was a home to these people. They'd been there a long time. Usually they were skeletons in the cupboard from the families who didn't want to know them or own them. I really enjoyed it. I was there for quite a long time.
We've cared for people all your life, Mary.
Yes, I have. No, not in recent years.
I don't know. Within your job at Wangaratta and at Maydays and at Heidelberg.
Oh, yes, Heidelberg's where I started. That was during the war, or just after the war.
And then you looked after your mum until she passed away?
My dad first. Next was Harry's father, who was bedridden for a while, and he died at home with me. And then we had my mother. She'd had a number of strokes and was bedridden. She had her own little house, but she was always coming down just for a week or something for a break, but she stayed living with us till she died. And then we had Grandma Brewer, who died out here at the farm.
And your husband?
He died very suddenly. I didn't ever look after him. The truth to be told, he looked after me.
Did he? And Mary, now you take good care of your grandson, Harrison.
Oh, yes.
Who has autism.
Yes, he's a gem. We've got a little place in town, 2 places side by side, 2 units. He's in one, and when I'm in town, I'm in the other one. And we see each other, and he comes in. I don't go into him as much as he comes to me. He works 2 or 3 days a week, and we see a lot of each other and have a lot of fun together. He's really independent. So say if I'm out here, he's at work. I don't have to be there.
You're an inspiration, Mary.
Not at all. But we're so lucky to have here. Just sitting here looking around, we've got the hills, the beautiful blue sky. It's just such a lovely part of the world in the northeast.
And we're sitting on Judy's side-by-side Kubota.
We are.
And you've offered to drive, so thanks, Mary.
I've got problems with my legs these days, and this has become my legs. It's a great little unit, easy to drive, easy to get in and out, no doors or anything.
Will you take me for a drive?
I certainly will. I might go right down the creek with you.
Well, can you go slow this time, please?
I don't know about that. Why do I have to go slow? That's not in my nature.
No, not from what I've seen. So we've got a rock gabion wall here.
What's going to be in there?
Well, I've heard it's going to be something like the mosh pit. So for group discussions and things, I think.
Oh.
And we're just driving past the sensory wall. What do you think about the sensory wall?
I think it's a great idea. And I love the way it's mounted up. We've got Leanne here who loves doing the garden. And it's pretty. It's a sunken garden with a path all the way round, a pretty tree in the middle.
But the sensory walk is a place where you can go and touch, smell, and there's different textures of different plants.
Yes.
And it's quite an interesting walk for people just to meander through. Actually, there's Leanne over in a ditch over there doing some planting. I might go over and talk to Leanne.
That'd be
if you
lovely.
want to stay here, don't go anywhere. Do I need to take the keys out?
No. It'd be nice to see Leanne.
I'll go and talk to Leanne, see what she's up to, and I'll come back.
Okay, that'll be good.
Oh, g'day, Leanne.
Hey, Darren, how are you?
Good. I'm just going to jump across this drain here.
Oh, yeah.
Up to this bank. What are you working here on this bank, Leanne?
So this bank here, it was highly visible when you come in the bottom road, when you come in the ring road into the farm, and it borders the small animal pen, and so we wanted to sort of dress it up and do a bit of weed suppression. Along the top of the bank, we've planted some wistringas, and then on the actual bank itself, we've put some hardened burgess.
That's to keep the bank together, stop it from washing away?
Yeah, so most people would know hardened burgess as happy wanderers, like a native sarsaparilla with the lovely little purple pea flower, and we're growing it there to kind of, to stabilise the bank, growing it as a bit of a ground cover to suppress the weeds and beautify the bank. We've got a couple of different coloured flowers along there.
Who brought the weeds in for you?
Good old Darren and Dave got me some beautiful soil from the cow yards. Unfortunately, though, it was full of weed seed, and so I grew an absolute ripper patch of weeds. So we got those out. I put my kids to work on that one. So we got all the weeds out, and then we put some weed mat down. We've got this geofab stuff on the actual bank itself, and then along the top we've put a selection of river rocks, and then we've just mulched the front around the hardened burgess. And I think at the end of the day it's going to work really well. We've put some brown drip line irrigation in as well, which the plants are just responding to beautifully. As you can see, they've probably tripled in size just in the short amount of time that they've been in there. So I'm pretty happy with how this is going.
But big picture-wise too, hasn't it all evolved and developed?
Just so much. Even just in the last 6 months since Jude, had everybody out here to have a bit of a look, things have changed again just so much. It's really, really quite incredible.
Well done. It's a credit to you, Leanne. All right, I've got to keep my eye on Mary. She's in the Kubota on her own with the keys in the ignition. So I'm going to go back and catch up with Mary. Thanks, Leanne.
No worries.
Oh, Mary, she's doing some crazy stuff over there. Good on Leanne. She's very clever.
She is, and she just loves being outside. She loves seeing things start from nothing and become a lovely garden or pretty flowers, or the boys helping with her moving rocks and putting them exactly where she wants them.
And she's always up for a good laugh, which is good.
Yes, she's good fun.
All right, Mary, can you start us up and take us around the duck pond, please?
That would be good. There are so many paths these days, you've got to know where you're going.
That's right. Mary, slow down a bit, would you please? You're handling these bumps.
They're good. And the ducks are in the water having a wonderful time. They really are.
Oh, look at them. Gee, they've bred up.
They've grown. These are ducks that Judy hatched. She loves ducks, and we had the little ducklings, but we had a lot of trouble. We set a number of them and only got a couple to hatch, and then we did some more. But now she's got quite a little herd there, and she loves them.
You can watch ducks all day, couldn't you?
Yeah, they're fascinating.
Now, Mary, this building around the corner here, can you tell me what this used to be? Let's drive around there. So we moved this building. What did this building used to be?
Well, this used to be a wash house with a copper. Of course, we went through the fire with it. It was a more recent one. The original one burnt down in the 60s, but we rebuilt this, and had the bath in it and toilet and so on, and we used to wash in it. In fact, when the kids were little, they used to have their bath in the troughs. But all of a sudden, the whole thing was lifted up and moved over here to become a duck shed, which is very smart. It's still got the lovely windows, but it's now got a nice little veranda around it and a very smart door to open and shut so the ducks can go in, and a little bridge for them to come out across onto the water.
Across the moat, there's a 10-metre log that's been cut down the centre, and that's their little bridge across to the middle of the
Are they
duck
using
pond.
it?
I believe so.
Oh, good.
They've got a drawbridge.
A drawbridge.
And they
yes.
waddle across the boardwalk.
And it looks lovely. And behind that is a stump of an old, very big tree that was burnt out, that was moved from the paddock into this to give it a little bit of architectural standing, I suppose.
And the other building over here, Mary, St Michael's, you want to tell us a bit about that?
Oh, St Michael's is a special spot. But you've missed one in between, haven't you? You've missed
the
the old
shed.
garage.
The old garage, which is the flashiest chook shed.
We had the garage, was a double garage. After the bushfire, we had absolutely no buildings, but we had 2 cars, and we bought a ready-made, very quick garage with roller doors. But again, one day it disappeared. They'd picked it up, turned it around, taken out the doors, and turned it into a chook's house.
I think I was in the tractor and Dave was at the other end in the excavator, and we're on the phone to each other, just snail pace moving that shed. And now St Michael's, the potting shed.
Ah, the potting shed. Leanne, who does a lot of the gardening, and Judy loves to start from seedling, putting in her own seeds, and she wanted a little potting shed. And Mike said, oh yes, we'll make a potting shed. And I thought, oh, that'll be lovely, 4 posts, maybe a bit of this old corrugated iron around that could make a roof. And we put some sticks in and have a bit of a table there. And then I wasn't here for a while. When I came back, there was 4 walls up and a roof. And I thought, this is amazing.
And a very steep pitched roof.
I was going to say, it wasn't an ordinary roof. It was like a cathedral. And I said to Michael at the time, this ought to be called St Michael's because you built it and it looks like a church. If only it had a stained glass window.
He shied away from that name for a while, but we've made it stick now.
Oh, it should stick.
Now, talking about Michael, the builder, he's over at the old homestead at the moment replacing some flooring. Do you want to go and chat to him?
Oh, yes, that'd be nice.
Let's go and see Mick. Do you always drive this fast, Mary?
Depends where I'm going.
You always seem to be in a bit of a hurry.
No time to waste.
We've just pulled up at the old homestead, and you had many years in here, didn't you, Mary?
Oh, yes, yes. This was the original homestead. It's about 150-something years old. It's had a few alterations in its day, but particularly after the big bushfire, we lost a lot of the back of it, and we've had to patch it up. But yes, it's been home for me. Hi.
Here's that noisy bloke right here, Mary.
Ah, he's an important bloke.
G'day, Mary. G'day,
We'd be
Darren.
lost without.
Are you after your red carpet?
Yes, I want a red carpet to come in. I've got a red carpet, but the moths have to be out of it first.
I think the white ants have eaten the red carpet, Mary. I'm sorry.
Or the moths.
Or the moth.
We found in the house here that we were full of white ants. And you going to tell us about that?
We started doing a little renovation to fix the white ant damage, and the project sort of expanded a little bit, and the more we touched, the more we found, sort of thing. So we've replaced a lot of the flooring now inside, and a bit of the plaster work, and we're nearly at the end stage now. So
it's going to be lovely. New floorboards that'll be polished and painted inside, and the doors will have nice architraves around them because the old ones fell off.
they did fall off, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I saw some photos of that.
Was it interesting how it was built, Mick, this place?
It was. It was built very well. They were true craftsmen, they really were. And we've had a big mystery from the start. We didn't know what the flooring was inside,
No.
but we think we've cracked the mystery.
Oh, what was it?
It's called an Oyster Bay pine, is what it's called,
Oh.
or a Tasmanian cypress. So
I wonder how they got that here.
it grows in Sydney as well. So it could have come from Sydney. Also have the scientific name,
Oh, well, we should have that.
Calitris rhombodea.
Oh, Mick.
Well, if you told me that, I'd have known exactly what you were talking about.
Well,
Yeah.
we've been scratching our head, Mary. I've never seen it before.
Yes, you said that.
And no one who's seen it knows what it is. So we've done quite a few phone calls and sent photos away, so we know what it is now. So
What timber are you using to replace the floor?
we're using a period correct Murray pine, a nice wide board. And the original flooring is actually in the Murray pine family, so it ties in well.
It's Murray pine ceiling too, isn't it?
No, it's the cedar ceiling.
Oh.
And the old skirtings and architraves with cedar as well, and that's like lollies to white ants. So
That's the story of it.
they've hooked into those. Yes.
I know the ceiling was in a bad way. We put some paint over the top to cover that.
Yeah, we found that, Mary.
We were amateurs. You're the profession.
No, but it's an amazing place.
It's
with
a dear
the
old house.
Mick, this is one of the oldest houses in the Shire. How does it feel for you to be working on this?
Oh, I love it. This is one of the best jobs I've been on, I'd say.
Oh, God.
Just the history involved. Ned Kelly visiting for the morning, and
did they take the Ned Kelly piece off the veranda?
we've got that to go back on, the old horse ring.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's to go back on.
Oh, yes.
So we definitely won't lose that, Mary. Trust me.
You know the story of Ned Kelly coming out?
Judy explains the Ned Kelly visit in episode 6. The history of this place is fascinating.
So when we leave it, it should look period correct. So we're not
that's
doing
lovely.
anything that's out of place or...
It's an absolute credit to you, Mick, what you've done. Have you found anything interesting underneath the floor?
Oh, well, we're hoping to find some coins.
He found jewels.
Don't tell Mary found the gold.
They buried the jewels.
We found an old skeleton of a hare, we think it is, and that's about all we found. Oh, some old tins, old soft drink tins.
Not even any bottles.
Yeah, there was quite a few broken beer bottles.
And some vinyl?
Yeah, some old vinyl that they used to pack up the floor joists. Well, I still don't really know what it is. It's like cardboard with a vinyl coating. It could have been like a wallpaper or something. And it is still for 150 years old, it's still in immaculate condition, which is incredible.
Well, when I first came, the dining room, which was the part that's burnt down, all the walls were Hessian bag with wallpaper stuck on it.
Well, that's what this was, and it was Hessian with a wallpaper stuck on
That's
it.
right, and a thick wallpaper. Well, the house is standing on just rock, isn't it?
Yeah,
The main part of the house.
Yeah, it's fantastic to look at.
Yes.
It's all rock foundations.
I often wonder how they got the rock. It came up from the creek, and of course they had the horses and dragged it up. But it must have been a terrific job to be able to turn the stones around and get them flat, and they've lasted all this time. Because there's never been a movement in the house.
Well, I've gone through and all the new floor, I've leveled the new floor, so from front to back, it's now straight and flat, and there was only an inch height difference over that time. So no,
that is amazing, isn't it?
Built very well, yeah.
That's incredible, actually.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
rock.
yeah. Well, there's no concrete footings. It's just rock on the ground.
Mick, Mary and I were just over at the potting shed. How was that to work on? You've built that from scratch.
Well, I don't know how the name came about. I didn't want that name.
Why didn't you want it?
Well, it shouldn't be named after me, Mary.
But you built it.
There's a bit of an argument there. I didn't think it should have been named that, and others did.
Well,
so
Either way, mate, the name's stuck now. But that was built out a lot of timber from the neighbour's place. What was that like to work on?
yeah, he milled that after I think the 2019 fires.
Yes.
It's radiated pine, so we've got to be careful how we look after it. It was all salvaged from the 2019 fires and milled. So no, it's turned out really well.
Well, Mick, we better let you get back to work. But thanks very much for the chat.
That's all right, mate. Good to see you.
Good to finally get you on a podcast.
Yeah, I've been hiding away, haven't I?
Well, you only agreed to it after you'd had a few drinks.
That's not right, Darren, and you know it.
All right, Mary, can you drive me around to the front of the farm centre, please?
I'll drive you around.
Okay, we've just pulled up at the farm centre, and this was opened last August, Mary, and
Yes.
you were the person who cut the ribbon.
Oh, yes, that was very special. I think they had to find somebody pretty old and creepy, but it was a lovely day. It was a sort of open day where I think we had 200 or so here, didn't we?
More.
A lot.
It's a beautiful building, and this is where people can come and have a cup of tea or have a little spell from their time at the social farm.
Yes, that's right. And it's big enough if they want to have a demonstration of some sort of craft or hobby. They can sit around, and there's some beautiful benches around the side for the cups and saucers. And they've got a modern kitchen with a freezer room and a cooler room, self-contained. And again, there's no steps anywhere. You can go straight from a bus across the path and onto the veranda and inside without a step, which is very thoughtful because wheelchairs and walkers and things will be no problem.
So we've had some people through, but for our listeners, in the next few months, there'll be people coming and going each day, won't there? Small groups, and that might be people with perhaps adult autism or aged care, or people that generally just need to feel better.
Yes, or lonely people or people who never get outside. The bus will pick them up so they don't have to walk and they can wander around. It's outside and there's lots to see. The garden is beginning now to look very pretty with Leanne's work. And I know Judy's got several groups coming or booked in to come.
And we're going to ask Judy in a moment on if people are interested in the place about their website. So we'll go and chat to Judy.
Do that, yes, that would be good.
Oh, look, Mary, there's Dave over there. We'll go and have a chat.
Oh, yes, he's been busy all the morning. I saw the dust coming up.
He makes a lot of dust, doesn't he?
Yes.
Looks like a bit of a runway he's building down the middle of the paddock here.
I'd call it more than a runway. I'd call
There
it
he
a
is.
highway.
He's
It's
just
absolutely great.
he's just jumped out of the excavator for us. G'day, Dave.
Good to see
How
you.
you going, Griggy? Mary,
Good
how
to
you
see
going?
you. What have you been up to, Dave? It's absolutely amazing what's happened since I was here last time.
You're talking about my stomach, Mary. I've just
Well-
had lunch.
I thought about that, but I thought that might be a bit rude. No, I'm sticking to the beautiful highway and the straight fence along beside it.
Oh, isn't it wonderful?
It's amazing fence.
Griggsy's finished that off beautifully. A new driveway coming down to the house, and
And I think she's going to plant trees on the sides, isn't she?
yeah,
Make it
yeah,
nice.
I hope so. I
And
think
that might match the other drive-in.
Yeah, it will. Yeah.
So we're talking about, Dave, this is the main paddock at the front of the house and at the front of the property. And we're making this big paddock a bit smaller, aren't we, for perhaps some smaller animals for the social farm as well as the bulls?
Oh yeah, either side of the lane coming in. Yeah, just to make things a bit easier to manage, even weaning time, and certainly for some small animals. When the care farm's up and running.
But it's great to have it near the house. We used to call that one near the house the maternity paddock because otherwise you'd get up in the middle of the night and you'd have to wander out the paddock. So it's lovely to have this little one here.
Yeah. Well, it'd be perfect. Actually, perfect for something like that. Yeah. Heifers calving and that sort of thing. So yeah.
How are you going with the underground water, Dave?
Yeah, good. Actually, I was going to ask Mary. With this little dam up here, did you put that in originally,
Yes,
Mary, or
yes.
you did? Yeah.
We thought at the time that there were 3 small streams coming in.
Yes.
We put them all together.
Yep.
And then you might remember we used to have 3 rings down here.
Oh, yes.
We put them in together and ran it down to there.
Right. Oh.
But there were 3 springs and not very good ones.
Yeah. Okay.
But
yeah.
by the time you put them together, it was worth
it
doing.
made up a yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What were the rings for, Mary?
Well, the rings were to clear the water so that we could take a pipe from it direct down to the house.
Did you ever have to get in there and clean it out?
I didn't, but Henry did, and we used to borrow the fire brigade ladders.
Yeah, it's a long way down. That
Yes.
one just there.
Yeah.
That's a long way down. I wouldn't go down there, Mary.
No. Well, when you go down, you get very short of oxygen.
So how deep would it be?
I know the original water that we found was 32 feet,
Yeah, I was going to say, they look about
which
30
is pretty
odd, at
bad.
least 30 odd
Yes.
feet. Yeah.
It was pretty
And you
deep.
climb down there and clean it out.
He'd go down and do a little bit and come up again because, you lose your breath down there. It's only this big.
Need an oxygen tank.
But, and it was a horrible little skinny ladder, the sort that the fire brigade put in.
Yeah.
So he got down the side and he'd go down halfway and get his breath and then go down to the bottom and scoop out a bit of mud.
Yeah. So have you ever seen this little dam run out of water in your time? Like the
No,
little
I
spring?
haven't.
No.
But we have changed the depth from time to time.
Oh, yes.
Cleaned it out and made it deeper.
Yeah.
Mary, what do you think about the speed of progress here, like with all Dave's
I'm
machines and thinking back on your
gobsmacked.
day?
I'm gobsmacked. In a way, I could almost say my dreams are coming true, although I never imagined this much. I'd always wanted to do things that I couldn't do, and I was never free to do it, nor did I have the money to do it. But it's lovely to see Judy doing it. I'm really very thrilled. And of course, none of it would happen without Dave and Darren and
Oh,
Nick.
no, that's right.
All of you.
Yeah, all the crew. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, Mary, let's say you could be 30 years old again
Oh, God,
and you
yeah.
could have a choice of any one of Dave's machines. What one would you like to use the most?
Oh, I'd love to be able to use this big excavator. When I was
Nail
young,
it.
I'd get on anything that, was there.
I heard you were pretty good at driving the trucks too. You
Oh, yes, I always drove the trucks. Even the ones that the brakes didn't work or the clutch didn't work or they rolled backwards, you still put the hay in the back.
They can still do that these days too.
I can't.
But they were fun. You're not ever going away, are you?
Not any
You've
time.
got a lot ahead of you.
Not this week. Not this week, Mary.
Oh, you've got to
I'll
see me,
I'll
eh?
be around for a while.
We were watching Judy bid on the bull sale, doing it on the computer. I was looking back to when we started. We'd go to somebody's place. We'd read up about them, certainly, and then they'd have a few bulls in a paddock and we'd walk around and say, I like this one, or I don't like that one, or this has got a nice straight back, or this one's got whatever. I would have that one, thanks. What's it cost?
Yes.
And then when I see what we do them today, we've been through all the stages.
Yes, all the statistics and the
Well, at first you got a few
information and-
statistics. Now you get heavens above.
yeah.
But doing it on the computer, you lose the fun of being there. The atmosphere when you're there and someone's bidding and you're going well and then someone comes in and knocks you down. There's a great excitement.
Yes, it is. Yes, yeah.
Judy's over in the shed bidding at the moment on her own. Do we go and call in and see her?
It might be a
See if
good
we've got a new
idea.
bull coming.
Might be a good idea and see if she's got one.
Well, thank you, Davo, for letting us
Pleasure.
stop by. And
Good to see you, Dave.
Yeah, you too, Mary.
It's lovely.
Take care.
as we're driving around the veggie garden, we've just run into Reuben. Good morning, Reuben.
Oh yeah.
Hello, Reuben. You've chosen a hot day to be outside.
Yeah, it's a bit hot, yeah.
Are you used to it as hot as this?
Not particularly.
No, I wouldn't think so.
So to let our listeners know, Reuben was here last year working for a few months, and Reuben's from England. And Reuben, your family are running a care farm over there, is that right?
Yes, they've been running it for just over 10 years now, I think. Yeah.
And how's that set up and how is it run and who is it for?
It is for a lot of people. The main thing is we take on mostly young adults, some older folk that don't fit in regular school for various reasons. Usually it's autism, ADHD, that kind of thing. And they come out to the farm and do farm things. They could be feeding the animals, it could be going up the track to spread birdseed for the wild birds, it could be going down to the hedgerow somewhere and chopping down a hazel tree because it's getting in the way of the power lines, or the donkeys want some food. Anything.
Right.
Sounds great.
And whereabouts are you exactly?
We are in, next to a small town called Great Missenden, which is about an hour and a half drive out of London, or a 50-minute drive out of Amersham, which is the last stop on the metro.
When you talk about having the social people there, I remember Judy went over, I think, and stayed with you and came home with all sorts of reports.
Yes, she was going on a big Churchill scholarship.
Yes, she was doing a big trip.
And
But I think she's been to meetings and so on with your mother where they've changed ideas and exchanged what's going on.
oh, absolutely, they've had all sorts of chats now.
Yes, it's great.
And how are you seeing this develop?
It's fantastic seeing it develop here. When I first came, it was still a lot here, but not as much, and then everything's just appeared, and suddenly there are people coming and going and everything.
They're playing magic here. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
So what a great experience for you, Reuben, to come and work on an Australian farm. And then I think since the last 6 or 8 months you've been travelling around Australia.
Oh, yep, I've been all over the place, up to Alice Springs, out near Darwin, down to Hobart, then up the west coast of Tasmania, and then back here.
Well, thanks very much for all your help here, Reuben. We've loved having you around, and you're back onto the paintbrush today, I believe.
Yeah, back on the paintbrush, painting more things.
All right, Reuben, thanks for the chat,
Okay.
and good luck, mate.
You're
Talk
most
to you soon.
welcome.
Let's go, Mary. There's Judy, still in the shed. Judy, have you bought that bull?
I have, Darren. I've just bought my bull, my ewe bull. His name is Undecided. Not a good name for a bull.
Congratulations. So this is from the online auction that we were just talking about to our
Yeah.
listeners before.
So I went and had a look at the bulls, but then I bidded through Auctions Plus on a helmsman system when all the bulls get auctioned at the same time. It's quite an amazing process to go through. So it's a bit like a silent auction at an event. So you can actually bid on any bull at any time, and then they just take bids until there are no more bids. So,
Well, I was a bit nervous for you at lunchtime bidding away, but I took off.
I've done it a few times, and I'm very, very happy. And he's a beautiful big Waruna bull, and I love the bulls from there, so I think we'll be celebrating.
I think we should celebrate tonight, don't you?
We'll be celebrating when we see his calves, but that won't be for 2 years, so you'll have to hang around, Mum.
Oh, I don't know about that.
So, Judy, your mum has just taken me and our listeners on a great tour around the farm, and we've learnt about most of the things that's been happening. How are you going? It's been hectic since we last spoke.
Oh, Darren,
to you.
it's been so hectic. I don't, and it's been so hot. You know, it's just been such a hot summer to be trying to get all this infrastructure in place, and it's not so good for visitors either because it's just a little bit too hot during the day to have people here at the moment. So we're looking forward to autumn and having a lot more life around the place then. And yeah, it just hasn't stopped. It has not stopped, but in a wonderful way. And we're making some new partnerships, and it's all in the monthly e-news, which comes out tomorrow.
So how do our listeners get onto your e-news?
So just to go to the farmmudgegonga.com.au, sign up on the first page, and you get the free monthly e-news to tell you exactly what's going on here. And next month, the expanded website will be up.
Judy, what's been the biggest challenge with this transition? Is it water?
Water is challenging. Of course, we have such great minds and great technicians with our water between you and Davo and Mick and all the Brains Trust that I can draw on, but particularly Dave. We've been able to see some amazing improvement in the water here. So very hot summer, very dry, but we're still fine. We've still got plenty of water. It's just a fairly constant thing, watering trees and watering garden. And we're still working on more water storage because you just can't have enough storage in terms of slowing down the water and making sure your dams are functioning properly.
And we had a big event last year, and we were just chatting to Mary about the cutting of the ribbon. How did that feel? It married in with a very nice milestone of yours.
Yes, well, it's nice to finally be 30. It's taken me, in fact, it's taken me probably double the time it should have. But I think we had a great celebration, and it's been, it's lovely to be able to have Mum open the little new farm centre where people come to first debrief and have lunch and then sit around those lovely new red gum benches and just look out the big windows and see what's going on outside. So the farm centre's well and truly up and running, and we've got a little plaque to commemorate the opening, which was on the 31st of August 2024.
Well, thanks, Judy. I'm going to leave you back to finish off on that sale of the bull, but congratulations.
I reckon I'm going to leave you. We won't get any fencing done today, Darren. Come on. there's jobs to be done. So enough of this chat.
All right, Mary, well, thank you for this tour around the farm today.
It's been fun, hasn't it?
And Mary, you're such a treasure to chat with. And
I enjoy talking to you.
It's an honour to share your stories.
Oh, good.
Thank you, Mary.
Good, lovely to do it, Darren.
I love that tour today with the one and only Mary Brewer. At 94, her strength, resilience and heart shines through. From city girl to farmer and even the home butcher, Mary has cared for people all her life, and it's clear that everyone here loves her. Thank you, Mary, and I can't wait for you to take me on the next update and tour. And please follow us on Facebook. Search Salt of the Earth Farm Stories. If you want to learn more about the Farm Mudgegonga, there are many great listens from episode 1. Thanks for joining us today. Until next time, keep your hands dirty and your spirits high.